from Plans Meet Paper, and I apologize, I'm kind of looking like a bum today. I just took my dog for a walk and I'm in my sweats, but I wanted to come on real quick and give you guys an update of how things are going with my pregnancy, how I'm doing, how baby's doing, and just kind of fill you in. So this is going to be an update of weeks 15 through 17 in my pregnancy. So what I'm going to do is start off by giving you some stats about what is going on with baby, how he is developing and progressing in the past couple weeks. So first off, baby is looking more and more human-like every day. His ears have kind of migrated and are now in their correct place on the side of his head. His lips and eyelids and everything is getting more defined and just kind of human baby-like, so that's good. His skin is still a little bit on the transparent side, but it's getting a little bit darker and more pigmented throughout the rest of the pregnancy as well. Also, basically, they say that babies are just in full-on rehearsal and practice mode right now. Everything that they do from here on out is just practicing so that they are ready to go when they come out of the womb. So right now it says that they're practicing swallowing and sucking. He might even be in there sucking his thumb. During one of the ultrasounds that we had, it really looked like he was sucking his thumb, so who knows, maybe he was. Also, what's really cool is by this point, by around week 16 and 17, babies can perceive light. Their eyes are developed enough to be able to perceive light within the womb, which is crazy. And their ears are developed enough that they can hear your voice and hear, noises, potentially songs, music, things like that. So that's really exciting as well. To know that he can maybe hear us right now. So, and lastly, baby is getting stronger and stronger every day. The baby's spine is much stronger. It's developed a lot in the last couple weeks, and muscles as well. So any day now, hopefully I'll be feeling kicks as baby continues to get stronger. So that's kind of the main highlights for how baby has been developing weeks 15 through 17. And as far as my symptoms and the appointments and events that I've had going on in the last couple weeks, I'm going to do those 1 week at a time because I've had a lot going on, and I feel like the symptoms that I've had are really closely connected to the appointments and events that I've had as well. So I'm going to fill you in 1 week at a time. So week 15 was actually a pretty smooth week, nothing crazy. I did have a couple of appointments. I went to the dentist. Always fun. And then I also had just a regular OB appointment. My main symptoms, I didn't have a ton. I did make a note that I was feeling extra thirsty, kind of dehydrated, even though I was drinking a lot of water. And along with that, I felt like I was getting dizzier than usual and also some headaches. I mentioned that to my OB when I went to my appointment, and she did say that my blood pressure was lower than expected. So it probably is due to the fact that when you're pregnant, your blood gets diluted a little bit because basically you get a bunch of extra blood volume, but most of that blood volume is just plasma. You don't actually create that many extra blood cells, like red and white blood cells. So your blood gets a little bit diluted and it can cause that lightheadedness. And it's just really important to drink a ton of water to make sure that you can combat that a little bit. For that, we're just going to keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't get worse. Nothing to be super concerned about right now. At the dentist, I will say my gums bled like way more than they usually do when I go to the dentist. And she did say that they were looking kind of inflamed, which is somewhat normal for pregnant women. The hormones can cause your gums to get swollen. And so I've been trying to just keep flossing every day through the blood. My gums have been bleeding quite a bit all throughout the pregnancy, but especially in the last several weeks. So I've been trying to just keep flossing every day regardless, so that hopefully my gums will be healthy after the pregnancy is over. So again, she said nothing to be super concerned about. It just happens when you're pregnant. Your hormones mess up your gums a little bit, but they should return to normal after the pregnancy. So that was week 15. Overall, it was a really smooth week and nothing major. But that led me into week 16, which right at the beginning of week 16 is when I had my amniocentesis scheduled. And so that was kind of a big appointment that I was nervous about for many weeks and months before that. I've been really nervous, not just about the procedure itself, which is scary and intimidating, needle into the stomach, but also, of course, about the results and the risk factors involved. And so I was just very nervous about that appointment. And it did happen right at the beginning of week 16. So I'll fill you in on that. I had my amnio when I was 16 weeks and 1 day, so just right at the beginning of that week. And overall, the actual procedure was not horrible. So if you have to do an amnio, try not to worry and stress about the actual procedure. It is not super painful or anything. It's just exactly like what they describe it. In my experience, at least, that's exactly what it was. It feels like a pinch, like a needle, when they're first just putting it through your skin. And then when the needle reaches your uterus, just like they'll tell you, it feels like your uterus just cinches up super, super tight and is like cramping, like a really bad Charlie horse, I guess is kind of how I describe it. Your whole uterus kind of cinches up, and it kind of stays like that for the whole time that they're doing the procedure, which doesn't take super long. For my doctor, it was only, a minute or two that they actually had to have the needle in to get the sample. And I could feel, they were telling me, the ultrasound tech and everything is telling me, okay, well, try to breathe like you're breathing all the way to your toes. Try to just relax. Think about something else. And I could feel when I would actually relax a little bit that my uterus would relax a little bit as well, which was more comfortable. But then, of course, you realize that, I need to relax. And that kind of makes you tense up again. So, I did the best I could to try and stay relaxed throughout the procedure. It's uncomfortable, but it's not super painful. So try to keep that in mind if you have to do amnio. After the amnio is when most of my symptoms for that week started occurring, and kind of caused it to be a stressful and anxiety-ridden week. So I did have some slight cramping that day after the amnio. Nothing major, nothing that caused me a ton of concern, but just some slight cramping. I tried to take it easy, but funny story, you guys have maybe seen my dog before on this channel, and literally my husband drops me off after the amnio. I'm on strict instructions to go lay down, relax for the rest of the day, not to do any heavy lifting, strenuous activity, or like scrubbing motions. They specifically said like no cleaning or scrubbing motions. Within 5 minutes of walking in the door and laying on the couch, what does my dog do but throw up 3 times on the carpet? Right after my husband was already gone back to work, and I'm like, am I gonna leave throw up on the carpet for 3 hours, or am I gonna try and clean that up with very gentle scrubbing motions? So I did clean up the throw up because, it was going to be like 6 hours before anybody else got home, and that sounds really gross. So I did clean it up, but I tried to be very, very careful about not causing any abdominal strain. And I hope that wasn't what caused my symptoms for the rest of the week. Who knows? But basically, the rest of the day went pretty good, and I thought I was doing well, but the next morning I had some watery, what they call leakage, discharge after, and so that got me kind of concerned. They say that if you are having that type of watery leakage, that it could definitely be amniotic fluid, and so it's not something to be taken super lightly. And so I kept an eye on it all that day. It didn't seem to be a lot. It was just a small amount. I'd say probably a teaspoon to a tablespoon in the morning, maybe a little bit more later in the day. I took it super easy. I did not go to work. I laid on the couch and tried not to move as much as I could because I was kind of freaking out internally, and just hoping that it wasn't, some sort of rupture or tear of the amniotic sac. and feeling very anxious about that. The next day, I woke up. Again, I was trying to take it super easy, and I had some more watery leakage, discharge. And so at that point, I was feeling very concerned. Again, it was a small amount. Again, about a teaspoon to a tablespoon. But it was first thing in the morning, right after I had gotten up from sleeping all night. And so at this point, though, I was concerned enough that I called the doctor and asked them what I should do. And they said, all right, well, take it easy for the rest of the day. Don't go to work if you can. You need to basically stay on bed rest, or modified bed rest. You can sit, but don't be doing too much movement, and come in for an appointment the following day. So that is what I did. Took it super easy, and I did go in for my appointment the following day. They did a ultrasound to check my fluid levels, and it appeared that the fluid levels within the amniotic sac were normal. All those previous 2 days, I was drinking a ton of water, like so much water, because they say that that's important to try to replenish any amniotic fluid that they took during the procedure, and then especially if you're leaking, to make sure that you're replenishing that. So I had been drinking a ton of water, and it appeared that my fluid levels were normal. Baby's heart rate seemed normal. And so at that point, they were like, hard to say. It was a Thursday at that point. And so they were like, well, if you can, take it really easy tomorrow over the weekend. And we'll kind of reassess on Monday and see where we're at. So that's what I did. I didn't feel super confident after that appointment. My doctor did just prescribe me an antibiotic in case it was some sort of infection from the amnio that was causing this watery leakage. So I went ahead and did that as well. I was on modified bed rest for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And what I will say is that, oh my gosh, it really makes me feel for any women that have to do bed rest long term. My poor sweet sister-in-law had to do bed rest for months, like so long, and I cannot even imagine how painful and horrible that is. At least for someone like me, I am a doer. I hope I'm not a control freak too bad, but I am a little bit. And so wanting to do anything that I can to make sure my baby is healthy and to heal, and just really wanting to do something, and literally the only thing you can do is to do nothing, was so hard for me. Those days of bed rest and of just waiting were very hard. And it was only like a week, and I just can't imagine those you amazing mamas out there who have had to do that for months and months. Just props to you. It literally brings tears to my eyes thinking about it, because it would just be so hard. And I just pray that that's not what this pregnancy has in store for me, but we'll see. What I try to keep in mind all throughout this pregnancy so far is that these challenges that we're experiencing, the anxiety, the waiting and having to be patient for all sorts of different things, whether it's test results like me, or gender, or just waiting to get out of that first trimester window of scariness, whatever it is, it's kind of like a lesson in all of the things that will be so important in being a parent. I'm sure being a parent, there's going to be so many times where of course, you're having to be patient with a toddler or with a child. And even more so, just times of being anxious about wanting the best for your child, and trying to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Nobody knows what the perfect answer is in parenting. And so I try to just kind of take all of this as a lesson, and take it as an opportunity for me to grow as a person and as a mom someday. And so that's how I'm trying to treat it, and to just trust that God has a plan for me, and that He's kind of shaping me into hopefully the best mom that I can be through these experiences. And so that's my thought that I've been trying to keep in my mind and my prayer for the future. And I just wanted to share that with you guys in case you've been experiencing any of the same things. Like I said, pregnancy is just a time that I feel like is full of anxiety and waiting and patience, as well as joy and hope and all of those amazing things. And so I just wanted to share my thoughts on that with you guys in case you were experiencing any of those emotions as well. The good news is that right at the beginning of week 17, I went in for another appointment on that Monday, and they did another ultrasound. Over the weekend, I had done a ton of research while I was laying on my back in bed. I just was Googling up a storm, which is dangerous in its own way. But I came across some information on some different pregnancy boards where I had read that there was possibly a test that they can do, or a couple different tests that they can do to determine if any fluid that you are leaking is actually amniotic fluid, or if it's something else, just regular pregnancy related or infection related, etc. So I went ahead and emailed my doctor. My doctor's office has this really cool app called My Chart that you can use to just send your doctor a message. And so I did that over the weekend, and luckily the nurse got back to me first thing on Monday and let me know that it would be possible to do a test like that and look into that when I came in for my appointment that afternoon. So I went in, they did another ultrasound. Again, it appeared that the fluid levels were normal, so that was very reassuring. Baby's heart rate was normal as well. It's already down to 139, which I think is a little on the low side, but they said it was fine, so hopefully it is. And also, they did go ahead and do a full pelvic exam to test the leakage and see what type of fluid it was. And based off of that test, what they could tell is that it was very unlikely that it actually was amniotic fluid. So they said to continue trying to take it easy. I didn't need to be on bed rest anymore. I could walk and go back to work and kind of proceed as normal, but not to do anything extreme, still no big lifting. I've had to tone back my exercise a lot. I haven't been running or anything like that. I've just been doing some super light walking, just trying to take it easy and make sure that I'm not putting any extra strain on my abdomen or my body when it's still trying to heal. And then they just said to make sure I finished the antibiotic regimen that they gave me. And so that is what I did. It's been about a week now, and it seems like things are kind of stabilizing back out. I'm praying and hoping for that, and so I don't have an appointment here for a couple more weeks, and they're just going to kind of reassess at that point. Since it did test as negative for amniotic fluid, they said I did not need to come back in for another follow-up. So feeling very blessed and excited about that. The symptoms that I had for the rest of week 17, I did still have some leakage discharge that I think, like I said, was kind of the same thing associated to the amnio, and I did finish up my antibiotics for that. I also had quite a bit of anxiety. I'm still feeling that way. I don't yet have results on my amnio. It's been about 2 weeks since I had it, and so I'm still waiting on results. Still praying that baby's chromosomes are perfect, or as close to perfect as they can be, that he's healthy and is going to be born a healthy baby boy. So we're still waiting on confirmation of that, but I'm just trying to keep the anxiety in check with some of those thoughts that I mentioned to you a few minutes ago. And then the only other symptom that I had that was kind of brand new was backache. I definitely started to have a backache this week. Week 17, right towards the end of the week. I'm 18 weeks today, so just the last couple days I've been having some lower back pain and just stiffness and kind of uncomfortableness. So I think that's just kind of a regular pregnancy symptom, and I've just been trying to keep my posture as straight as possible and kind of be moving as much as I can while still taking it easy. So just kind of remembering to get up and kind of stretch out, take a few steps every few minutes, so that I'm not just sitting in a chair all day and having it get worse. So those are my main symptoms, and that's where I'm at, end of week 17. So I'm sorry, this is a super long video, but I felt like I had a lot to cover just with the amnio and the follow-up appointments that went with it. But as of right now, you know, as far as I know, everything's going okay. Hoping to get amnio results any day now, and I will give you guys an update once I have those. I did take a belly bump photo update yesterday for you guys, so I will put that here at the end of the video for you to check out. I definitely feel like I am showing now. Just in the last couple days, I feel like I have popped, so to say. My bump is pretty defined and growing, and I just 2 days ago switched to maternity pants because, oh man, those regular pants were getting pretty darn uncomfortable to button. I tend to wear like, not high-waisted pants, but I don't know, I guess I wear kind of like mom jeans. I don't like the super like low-rise pants. So most of my pants fall right on the line of my belly bump, baby bump. And so buttoning those bad boys wasn't happening anymore. It was just very uncomfortable. And so I tried to do like the hair tie trick, and it wasn't working. So I've switched to maternity pants. I need to go shopping and get some more. Currently, I only have 2 pairs, one that my mom sent me from Amazon and one from Target. And so far, I really like the Target pair a lot. So I'm gonna check Target out for more maternity clothes. But if you have a favorite type of maternity pants, store where you like to shop for maternity clothes in general, a link for Amazon where you have bought that and it worked out good for you, please put all those links and tips and tricks down below. I need them all, and I would love to hear from you. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll put in my picture of my belly bump here in just a second and kind of close out the video with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll talk to you here in another week or two, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.